Hello my fellow readers and Happy New Year. In this video I'm just going to do a quick recap of 2025, like what I read. This will also work as like my final quarterly review. I'm not going to split it up into two videos. I think that's pointless, and honestly I don't have the time for that. So as just a quick thing, I did manage to accomplish 500 books this year, and again that is between graphic novels, manga usually, and then audiobooks, standard books like my e-copies, ARCs, whatever. And I think overall it was a really good year for reading. And also I did manage to bring down the number of books read this year, which was also part of my goal, is that I wanted to cut back and not do as many, to give myself more time for other hobbies and things that I like to do. And I think so far it's a success. So I am a little bit sad that I did not get to do other videos during the whole holiday time period. I got sick right on Thanksgiving, and it took a while to recover from that. And then on top of that, obviously the holidays were coming up and I was very busy making gifts, getting gifts, all the traditional holiday stuff. And so I let this go because I was also working during that time as well. So, I just didn't have time. I was like, I'll catch up eventually. So for my final quarter of the year, I did manage to fit in 128 books. What was really nice is, especially during December, I got through a lot of like Christmas time books that kept me in the mood. And you'll see that too. I'll flip over so you can see my spreadsheet and final Goodreads review. And I'm not going to include my favorite books in this video. Hopefully I'll do a top, 10. Usually it's 10 for 2025. I'm also not going to split this year. I'm hoping to just do my top books, whether it's a manga, a light novel, a regular traditional print book, whichever. They're all just going into that top 10 is what I'm hoping. But there might be a few honorable mentions as well because I don't know. I read a lot of books that I very much enjoyed in 2025. Like, it wasn't perfect, but there was a lot that I really enjoyed that I'd like to make sure that people got out there. As usual, I will not do a worst of list. I just don't like that. And I don't read a lot of awful books. Like, there were maybe a handful, maybe like 3 books that I didn't love this year, but I don't know. I don't like putting that out there because I don't want to insult somebody else who may like that book. It might be for them and it's just not for me. Like, I know that there are certain things I do not like. So if they end up in a book that I'm reading, I'm not going to like it. So there you go. That's it. I think for now, I'll turn it over so we can take a look at my spreadsheet and also my final little Goodreads look. Okay, so here we are for the last time. This is where we started in October, The Ruthless Lady's Guide to Wizardry. I feel like that title was longer, but I guess maybe not. And I'm just going to do a quick final look, final total. Ended here at 500 books. There's my overall look of stats. So you can see that I have a lot of 4 stars, a couple of 4.5, and some 5 stars. Yay! And I did have 2.5 stars. So there were a couple I didn't love this year, but that's fine. Yeah, those aren't the exciting ones. I actually like the charts more. Finished everything. Read a lot more fiction than nonfiction. I did not read as much nonfiction in 2025 as I normally would, but you know what? I'm okay with that. Mostly did audios. There was some print and then my digital. And again, I don't love the way they've broken this. Well, genre's okay. With the majority, of course, being fantasy, good slice to romance, and then general fiction, and then everything else filling in. The book source is the one I don't really understand because this is this, and this is, well, they're not showing that part, but this is borrowed as Spotify and sometimes Audible. Anyway, I just didn't love that. Stayed pretty consistent with a bigger month in January. This was mostly because I read all of the Beatrix Potter collection in January for my reading challenge, so not bad. And then there's my diversity split. There's a lot from the diversity split. Not really. This is just the nation of origin, but I read a little over half that were US based books, and then obviously a lot from Japan, Canada, some Korea, and then Australia and UK. I don't think there's really anything else that I need to touch on here. It was just fun. There was a lot that were published this year, a little bit backlist, and then pre-pub. So, yeah, that's exciting. So finally, to the bigger one, let's hop over to Goodreads. Now, I did notice that my year in review is wrong because it tells me that it's 496 books, but if I go to my challenge itself, it says 500. So I don't know what books are missing from the year in review because it does end with the right book, so I don't know what they did. But let's just take a look at the year in review. My longest book this year was Wind and Truth, which was a giant, massive book, and my shortest was Cicely Parsley's Nursery Rhymes, with an average book length of 329 books. More people need to read this series. The Vampire and His Pleasant Companions is a great series. I love it. There's a little bit of humor, a little bit of dark, stuff happening, a little blood and gore sometimes, but it's good. And the most shelved was Onyx Storm. This is the interesting one, that the highest rating was volume 14 of Delicious in Dungeon, which I wouldn't expect, but let's just move on to an overall look at all the beautiful covers as they lay out the whole year for me. Did love Don't Let the Forest In. Did complete C.G. Drew's second book, also in 2025. I did not love it as much. I think it just made me a little bit sadder. Loved Immortal as well. I think Immortal might have had 5 stars as well. Some of these books, it feels like it was much longer ago than this year. I thought it was last year. Language of Dragons, I loved. Quicksilver. This shocks me too that it was this year that I finished Quicksilver. The Rose Bargain. Abby Jimenez is a constant favorite of mine. That's no surprise. Sword Heart. I like that it does highlight some of the ones that I gave 5 stars to. It's such a good story. And I feel like I talked about a lot of these as I did, my quarterly check-ins. So I don't want to spend too much time on anything, I think, in particular. This is just fun, going through and seeing. I feel like there's definitely smaller titles here that I feel like more people should read. But, I can't force you to. I would say if you have still not read the Magnolia Parks series, recommend that highly. Shield of Sparrows, the second book is coming out in 2026. Looking forward to seeing how that goes. If it's really good, that'll be a keeper for me. I still have such a long way to go. I think Kill the Beast is one of the ones that I would say deserves more attention. I really enjoyed the characters and their interaction and just the goal in the story, so I would recommend. Good Spirits made me realize I need to read more B.K. Borison. I read Love Light Farms last year, I think it was. So this year was good spirits. And I might have to go back and finish the Love Light Farms series, but also some of the other ones. We have finally reached the final quarter of the year. Oh, did want to go back and just highlight that Brigands and Bread Knives was, I think, my favorite of the trilogy. I also finished Catabasis and did enjoy that book as well. Catabasis is quite different from some of the other work by R.F. Kuang, so I get that people have either really liked it or not. I did enjoy it. I ended the year with a lot of Apothecary Diaries. I still have to finish. I think I have 3 more volumes to read of the current release to get updated. And I read the first light novel version as well. And there's Hazelthorn. So you can see, Don't Let the Force In was a 5-star, and Hazelthorn, I just gave a 4. I just didn't like it as much, but it was still really good. I think that's an author to watch. I like the blend of like horrific, dark atmosphere with the characters. It's good. And I ended with a lot of Christmas stories. It was nice. So there you have it. There's my year, except for there's probably 4 books randomly missing for some reason. I don't really know why, because that is where I left the year. These are the correct volumes, so there must be some in the middle that didn't trigger correctly, but I don't know why, and I don't have time to go look for them in a whole list of 500. I am done with this year. I'm ready to move on to 2026. So let's close this out and look forward to the new year. All right, so here we are saying our goodbyes for this time. That's a wrap on 2025, other than my best of list. I wish that I also could have gotten this out sooner, but I just have not had the time, energy, all of the things. So that's okay. Better late than never. Anyway, I hope you're having a fabulous new year so far. And what are your goals, plans? I actually have now kind of uploaded most things because a couple of things did not transfer in, and created both a Fable account and a Storygraph account to take a look at them and compare the different ones. I really like Storygraph. Fable had a lot of issues with importing, so I'm a little bit worried. It's quite a few books behind. I think if you're like a normal, if you're, I don't know, not a super like power reader with also like 15 years of recorded books on your Goodreads, you'd probably be fine joining any of these. But for me, as somebody that had like a 7,000 book library to transfer in to the other sites, there's a lot of missteps. There's ones that did not go through for whatever reason, and I don't know, because it's all like digital stuff. I don't know what it was. I'm considering with Storygraph with maybe going through and checking at least last year's books, because there was not that many. There's maybe like 10 that it didn't get, whereas Fable, it was more like 30, I think. And then overall, it missed hundreds, I think, of books. And it seemed to really have a problem with graphic novels, and also like my manga series, like where it would randomly put in the first volume and then not count anything else. And then a couple more like serial books. Like if it's a romance series, it had trouble doing each book of the series. So I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know how that would happen, because I don't do the stuff, the back end stuff with Goodreads. I don't know how that was all triggered to then feed into other. And I don't know what would cause a difference with Fable as opposed to Storygraph, other than Fable, it did it kind of on its own, whereas Storygraph, I exported my whole library that's on Goodreads and then imported it in. And like I said, that's only a little bit off, so maybe it has something to do with that. I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm just excited for the new year and tracking everything. I do hope to, again, do my spreadsheet, track that way. I'm considering whether I want to drop some more of the category stuff on there, but I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I did like having simplified it this past year. I think that helped me a lot to not feel overwhelmed filling in my spreadsheet as well, but we'll see. So once again, thank you, and let's look forward to 2026. Bye.